Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but something is still missing? Or maybe you've felt the opposite, like you're so far gone that you're beyond hope. Today, we're diving into one of Jesus' most powerful stories. A parable that turns our ideas of righteousness completely upside down. It's found in the Gospel of Luke, and it speaks directly to the heart of how we see ourselves and how we see God. Picture this. The sun is setting over Jerusalem, casting long, dramatic shadows across the temple courtyard. The air is filled with the scent of incense and the sound of quiet prayers. People from all walks of life are coming and going, each carrying their own hopes and burdens. And among this crowd, two men make their way into the temple to pray. They couldn't be more different, yet they're both there for the same reason: to speak with God. The first man is a Pharisee. He's the picture of religious success. He's dressed in fine robes, and he walks with an air of confidence, his head held high. Everyone in the community knows him and respects him. He follows the religious laws to the letter, fasting twice a week, giving a tenth of everything he earns, and steering clear of anyone he considers a sinner. He finds a prominent spot in the temple, right where everyone can see him. He stands tall, raises his arms, and begins to pray out loud, his voice ringing with spirit. He says, "God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give a tenth of all I get." His prayer isn't really a conversation with God. It's more like a spiritual resume, listing all his accomplishments. He is completely confident in his own righteousness. Now, let's look at the second man. He's a tax collector. In that society, tax collectors were despised. They worked for the Roman occupiers and were often corrupt, extorting money from their own people. He's the kind of person the Pharisee would cross the street to avoid. He finds a spot in the shadows, far from the main altar, as if he feels unworthy to even be there. He doesn't dare lift his eyes toward heaven. Instead, he bows his head, his posture one of complete humility and shame. In deep anguish, he beats his chest and whispers a simple, desperate prayer. "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." That's it. No excuses, no justifications, no list of good deeds to try and balance out the bad. Just a raw, honest plea for mercy from a broken heart. Two men, two prayers, two completely different attitudes. The Pharisee stood before God, presenting his goodness. The tax collector stood before God, presenting his brokenness. One was full of himself. The other was empty and knew he needed God to fill him. So, which one did God hear? This is where Jesus delivers the stunning conclusion to his story. He looks at his disciples and says, "I tell you that this man, the tax collector, rather than the other, went home justified before God." What a shocking reversal. The religious insider was ignored, while the social outcast was accepted. Jesus then gives the timeless principle behind the story. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. This parable isn't just a historical account. It's a mirror for our own souls. It challenges us to ask, which prayer sounds more like mine? Do I approach God with a list of my achievements, comparing myself to others and feeling pretty good about where I stand? Or do I come with an honest recognition of my own need for grace, knowing that without God's mercy, I have nothing? The story teaches us that God isn't impressed by our external religious performances. He's looking at the posture of our hearts. He's drawn not to our pride, but to our humility. The good news of this parable is that no one is too broken for God's mercy. The tax collector, in his moment of total honesty, found the forgiveness and acceptance that the self-righteous Pharisee completely missed. It reminds us that the way to God is not by climbing a ladder of our own good works, but by humbly kneeling at the foot of the cross and simply asking for mercy. Thanks for watching today. I hope this story has encouraged you as much as it has challenged me. If it did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content that dives deep into these life-changing truths. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, remember that a humble heart is where God does his greatest work.